Good morning, everybody. Oh, we got a great program today. We're going to do some japa and also meditate on these verses by Krishna Kanamrita. This was one of Lord Chaitanya's favorite books. He liked, of course, they probably didn't have such an extensive library that we'd have now back then. But he found this book and he really liked it. He liked Jayadev's works. Jayadev, I think Jayadev maybe. and also this Brahma Samhita. So anyway, today we're going to read the Krishna Karnamrita, which is beautiful descriptions of Krishna, and meditate on that. And I'll tell you, if you really are a devotee of Krishna and you hear these things, you'll float through the whole day in bliss. That's why these books are written, so that we can float in bliss and happiness in this world, and mitigate the miseries of material existence. They're just natural miseries here, and there's no way to avoid it except through transcending it. This is what we're going to do. All right, so I'll start the verse here, and then we'll do some japa to it here. We chant, and then I'll read some more verses. Actually, I think we'll start out with a little japa just to get it going here. So get your bead bags out, and if you don't have bead bag, that's okay. Just chant along, and we're here. Just listen. And this mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, these are names of God. They're the most auspicious things in this whole universe. Even though most people don't even pay them any mind. It's just because of being bitten by material existence. But the truth, which sets us free, is knowing that these names of God give the greatest happiness, the greatest ecstasy, the greatest love, the greatest purification. Like this, we know this. And then you just start engaging in chanting and experiencing it. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. And if you're a devotee of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, or you want to be, you want to know how, just chant this mantra, and with whatever faith and surrender you can muster up, just do that, and you'll see that Lord will come and meet you, and you will get an experience of His transcendental presence, which will bliss you out more than you can ever understand, beyond the mind. And the mind will just be attracted and be your best friend. It's just, it'll just be so happy just meditating on the blissful truth about God, His name and His form and His pastimes. Hare Krishna Krishna, and you have a big smile on your face. Or if you're crying for Krishna, which is also an ecstatic experience, that we can't understand by the mind, but when the mind gets this mercy, then you can understand. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. So we'll start. All glories to Chintanami, my initiating spiritual master, Somagiri. All glories to my instructing spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who wears a peacock feather on his crown. Under the shade of his lotus feet, which are like desire trees, Jaya Shri Radharani enjoys the transcendental mellow of an eternal consort. Thank you for coming, whoever you are. I saw something float around. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. See, chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we're like under the shade of the lotus feet of Krishna. We are under his shade, under his lotus feet, through chanting devotional service. That's what we're doing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So there is an entity who has the appearance of an adolescent boy, and who is being inundated with the desire tree flowers falling from the fingertips of the damsels of heaven. That boy is completely carefree, situated in transcendental beatitude. As he sends forth waves of sound from his famed flute, he is encircled by thousands of effulgent milkmaids, whose garments are becoming loose again and again from their extreme pleasure at hearing the flute, and who are trying to hold them up, that adolescent boy. The pinnacle of munificence places liberation from birth and death into the hands of his surrendered devotees. He places liberation from birth and death. Surrender. This path is wonderful, man. I mean, there's so many paths, people doing this and that, but the path of surrender to the Lord is actually easy. It's open for everyone, and you can do it as simply as chanting the Lord's name and surrendering to the name. And when we become devotees like that, just by surrendering like this, the Lord reciprocates and gives us this divine nectar and bliss, so that we can live happily in this world, diminishing all our material miseries. See, so let us all become surrendered devotees. That comes from the heart. Just start chanting, practicing. We worship that dark bluish boy, young boy. We worship that dark bluish young boy, in whom culminate the principle of stimuli for amorous love, which causes Radha to become languid with the beauty of his dancing sidelong glances, and who in turn becomes languid with love when Sri Radha and her friends cast their sidelong glance at him. That boy's beauty, like waves of nectar, engenders extreme thirst in the eyes of Radha and her companions, and conversely their nectareous beauty makes him thirsty to see them. He is affectionately worshipped by Radha's wistful glances, and he enjoys loving play pastimes with Radha and her friends on the bank of the Yamuna. We worship that young bluish boy, the source of the God of love, who has attained unchallenged dominion over love's sweetness. Yeah, and this is the amazing thing. The more one engages in devotional service, it becomes sweeter. Not only the taste, but actually one's character, one's voice, one's mood. is this unparalleled sweetness, because you're worshiping the King and Queen of sweetnesses. See, it just becomes very beautiful. Especially when you're doing devotional service in the Dhams like Vrindavan and Mayapur. For Mayapur is just so wonderful too. Just this unparalleled sweetness. Everything about one changes and transforms into transcendence, into beautiful characteristics. So more and more, just from doing devotional service, loving God everywhere. So let effulgence personified shine within our hearts. He is wearing a bright peacock plume on his head. His face is steeped in sweet beauty. His fresh youthfulness is bursting forth, and his flute is pouring out a murmuring, nectareous sound of rapture. On all sides the milkmaids of Raj, who have blooming bud-like breasts, worship him in adoration, and indeed he is amazingly the only enjoyer and the only source of enjoyment for the entire universe. Very deep. And I like this. Indeed, he is amazingly the only enjoyer, the only source of enjoyment in the entire universe. So the Lord is the enjoyer as well as the source of enjoyment. Isn't that awesome? That's that oneness thing. It's like the Lord is what is enjoyed as well as the enjoyer. Now the Maya, Mahamaya, makes us oblivious to that. We think this false sense of self, they call false ego, is enjoying, but it's actually the Lord enjoying in the material realm also. But not really. It's like the Lord's enjoyment is of the spiritual potency. Okay? So it's just this shadow, experience. And we as devotees, we can either serve the material energy fully, or we can serve the spiritual energy not really fully here. You can do it because we have to do some dovetailing of our activities here, for the service of God, even eating and sleeping and that. So, well, I guess you can do it fully when you're dovetailing like that. So actually, as we're getting purified, you start to notice this more and more that it's the Lord in our heart that's enjoying, and He really enjoys the spiritual potency. And we get to participate as servants of the Lord in that enjoyment. And that's what the Lord wants for us, to relish His spiritual nature, which starts with the chanting. To relish the Lord's. It's actually the Lord relishing Himself, and we get to participate because we're the servants. Servants get a bit of a share in this, share in the enjoyment. So I read that. See, he is amazingly the only enjoyer and the only source of enjoyment in the entire universe. So the Maya makes it so that we can't realize that. But as we get purified, we start chanting and get a higher sense of enjoyment. Hare Krishna, chant a little bit. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Just surrender the name, the Lord will get ecstasy. Surrender to chanting, with confidence and faith, little confidence that we're doing and surrender. The Lord will give you this nectar, this divine nectar. This is amazing. Be very happy forever. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna's eyes are long like petals of blooming lotuses, and his very charming lotus-like face is made all the more charming by his extremely beautiful and sweet nectareous smiles. His profuse curling locks look delightful, with their decoration of proud peacock tall feathers. Let him, the embodiment of all effulgence, forever shine within my heart, which is outwardly greedy for the poisonous meat of sensitive objects, or inwardly greedy for the beauty of, which is outwardly greedy for the poisonous meat of sense objects, or inwardly greedy for the beauty of Sri Krishna, a beauty that binds the devotee's mind and causes the burning pain at the time of separation from him. A beauty that binds the devotee's mind and causes burning pain at the time of separation from him. And that's devotional service and spontaneous devotion. You get attracted to the Lord. You feel the poisonous and the nectarian effects of that. And that's what binds our mind. That's what brings us back to Krishna again and again, is this feeling separation from him. So it's wonderful. It's really awesome. And that's how we get out of this material existence, is we become so enraptured, literally, by Sri Krishna, that and attracted. Our minds become attracted. And in separation, we just, it's the world looks empty, as it really is. If we think the world is something really amazing, it's because of not having enough attraction for the Lord. See? And then, once you get God, then the world fills up with His presence, and then it's different, and it's all connected. You see that? Yeah. May the lotus of my Lord's face blossom within the lake of my mind. May the lotus of my Lord's face blossom within the lake of my mind. The eyes of that face resemble lotus buds, being half closed, and the delicate mirror-light orbs of cheeks are puffed with the nectareous honey of the sound of the flute sound. May the lotus of my Lord's face blossom within the lake of my mind. The eyes of that face resemble lotus buds, being half closed, and delicate mirror-like orbs of its cheeks are puffed with the nectareous honey of the flute sound. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Let my words express even a tiny particle of the luscious beauty of Murari, whose artless adolescent figure enraptures me. And whose moon face is worshipped by the soft melodies of his flute. Let my words express even a tiny particle of the luscious beauty of Murari, whose whose adolescent figure enraptures me, and whose moon-like face is worshipped by the melodies of his flute. All glories to Krishna, the life of my words. The Kolikram Koliram. Koliram? The Koliram from the eyes of the young girls of Raj decorates his charming lotus face, which is languid with love, and in an impassioned peacock feather adorns his head. Impassioned peacock feather adorns his head. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Hare Rama. Hey, welcome. Hey, Abby. Thank you for coming. And whoever else. So reading these beautiful descriptions of God and His manifestation of Krishna. I take shelter. I'll wait till the train goes by. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. And by the way, you can ask that question on the Facebook email if you want. If you still have it, no problem. Privately. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is Krishna Karnamrita, beautiful book by, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now, but it's an old book, 600-700 years old. I take shelter of Lord Krishna, who becomes agitated with passion when he hears the sound of his own flute held in his lotus hand. Now this passion, everything about devotional service and the experience and the feelings that arise, and they use words like passion and love and lust and all of this. This is transformed into spiritual nectar, spiritual truth. It's the world here is a dim reflection of our actual spiritual existence. So what we see here is it's like a twisted truth. There's passion here, but it's passion for the bodies of the world, people, and the passion for money, passion for women, passion for men. And all of this is to do with our temporary existence. It's not enduring. But passion for God is awesome. Passion for God is where it's all, this is our perfection, in transcendence. So when they talk about passion, he becomes passionate or he wants a relationship with his devotee, and the Christians are starting to understand this, that are ecstatic, that God really wants to interact with us. He wants a relationship with us individually. And this gives God the greatest happiness as well as us individually. Okay, so the Christians are coming to realize this, as well as Vaishnavas who are advanced in their ecstatic worship, are realizing this also. So I take shelter of Lord Krishna, who becomes agitated with passion when he hears the sound of his own flute, held in his own lotus hands, which resembles newly sprouted reddish twigs. His lotus feet reproach the blossom patali flowers with their beauty, and his amiable face sends forth blossoms of brilliance from his delightfully sweet lips. He is smeared with the kumkum powder from the milkmaid's pitcher-like Hare Krishna. So I take shelter of my Lord Krishna, whose beautiful milkmaids worship at every moment, with unbroken sidelong glances from his eyes tinged red with passion. Hare Krishna. So devotees, when they experience ecstasy of worship of God, their eyes also get red. It's just the Lord's eyes get red, and so does the devotees. These are some of the features of ecstatic devotion. The cheeks get red. That's why, it's like, drunks that drink alcohol, they get intoxicated. Well, that's a dim reflection of the truth. When one is worshiping God in ecstasy, their cheeks get red, eyes get red. It's a spiritual symptom. That's why often people think those who are worshiping in ecstasy are drunk. I used to have one guy, he said, I know you're drinking wine during those classes, man. I know it, that's what it is. He was so, because he said, well, you see, it's the same. It's not the same. Worship of God is intoxicating, but it's good. There's karma-free, no problems. You just get more intelligent, more revelations and realizations about the truth. Drinking the alcohol, you get more dull, more dull. See, the more you drink, the duller you become. The more you drink of the nectar of the lotus feet of chanting and hearing and remembering about God, the more intelligent you become, the more revelations you get. That's great. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So I chant a little bit here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I feel like reading some. Let's read some of Nityananda's pastimes in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Or there's another book about Nityananda. Let me hear. I can find it. Nityananda, 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 Nityananda. Ah, here it is, Nityananda Charita. Rita. Okay. So this is here we go. Adi Kanda, birth and childhood, holy places and travel. Ah, this is nice. This is a meeting of Madhavendra Puri, who started the disciplic succession, really, and meeting of Nityananda with Sripad Madhavendra Puri. He was a sannyasi. They were both traveling and they met each other. As Lord Nityananda traveled by the will of Providence, he met Sri Madhavendra Puri. The body of Sri Madhavendra Puri was imbued with ecstatic love of God, and his followers shared the same sentiments. See, so the same sentiments, ecstatic love of God that the Guru has, is shared by those who become his followers. Those who come close to the Guru, they get the same kind of sentiments. Those are drawn close. And again, that's one of surrender. You know, when you're surrendered and appreciative and respectful towards such a spiritual master who is imbued with ecstatic love, that's what you get. See, that's why we chant. We chanting God's name, we get ecstatic devotion by that surrender. You know, same thing with the Guru. He did not relish anything other than loving sentiments for Lord Krishna, who enjoyed his pastimes in the body of Madhavendra Puri. What can I say about the devotion of he who was the spiritual master of Sri Advaita Acharya? Seeing Madhavendra Puri, Lord Nityananda at once fell unconscious to the ground, stunned in ecstatic frame. Seeing Lord Nityananda, Madhavendra Puri forgot himself as well and fell unconscious. Sri Gaurachandra had repeatedly said that Sri Madhavendra Puri is the original root of worship of ecstatic love. After both Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri swooned, the disciples headed by Sri Ishvara Puri all began to cry. Recovering after some time, Lord Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri embraced each other and cried. Overwhelmed by ecstatic love for Krishna, they rolled on the sand and cried out, the tears of love flowing from their eyes like rain soaked Mother Earth, making her feel gratified. Shivering, shedding tears, hair standing on end, and other symptoms appeared endlessly on their bodies. This was because Lord Krishna personally resides in their bodies. Lord Nityananda said, all the pilgrimages I have done, still now has now borne fruit. Today I have seen the lotus feet of Madhavendra Puri. Seeing his ecstatic love of God, my life has become successful. This is so many references to seeing devotees absorbed in ecstatic love. One's life becomes successful. See, even though one may not experience it right away, or may, still one's life is successful. The Lord never leaves the devotees who see. This is called darshan. See devotee. When you see a devotee crying and laughing and all that, you're not just seeing the devotee. You're seeing the devotee communing with God. That is so sacred, man, and it's so rare. It's so beautiful. See? All symptoms of devotees are so extraordinarily beautiful, and people very rarely have seen them, so they think they're strange. But the most beautiful thing in this whole universe is the Lord and the devotees communing together. This ecstatic devotional worship. This is what Jesus meant when he said the Lord is very much looking for this kind of worship in spirit and in truth. Spirit being the upsurge of this ecstatic devotional love, see, the liberated soul's experience, and truth being the truth about God. And there's many truths. It's not just one truth. There's many truths about God, his relationship with us, his relationship with the world, his relationship, our relationship with him, his relationship with devotees is all to do with truth. Different types of devotees, it's all truth. And it causes the upsurge of devotion in advanced devotees. Sri Madhavinda Puri embraced Lord Nityananda and was unable to reply, as his throat was choked with love. Madhavinda Puri was so pleased that he was unable to release Lord Nityananda from his embrace. Ishvara Puri, Brahmananda Puri, and all other disciples of Madhavinda Puri felt intense attachment for Lord Nityananda. They had met many sadhus, but never before seen such symptoms of prema. Feeling distress mixing with materialistic people, they wandered in the forests. See, devotees like that, it's distressful to mix with materialistic people. See, because you're tasting this fine nectar of worshiping the Lord. You know, it's like it's a liberated state. And everything is transcendental and transcended. The human emotions are transformed into divine relations with God, you know. So then to mix with people of the world who don't have that, and who are mixing with each other and perpetuating this cycle of birth and death, because, you know, they're not, it's not, you see, there's a difference between mixing with devotees. See, devotees are all focused on God, on Krishna, or the Lord of their worship, whether it's Jesus, Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, Ram. See, if you have a relationship with a devotee, you're going to get purified because you're going to be seeing a person that's purified because of their worship of the Lord. See? But people of the world are worshiping each other and worshiping the modes of nature, if they're worldly. Okay? So, if you're going to have a relationship with devotees, you know, who are focused on the Lord and getting purified. See, and the best of the relationships are those who are with ecstatic devotees, who are on the level of ecstatic worship. If you can find them, they're really rare. If not, stay alone and worship God. See, people, you know, may hear what I just said and think, oh, that's not good. You know, my family and friends and society and all that is so important. That's because we have attachments to that. It causes that. It causes us to be unhappy at, you know, real happiness. We become there's some little aversion to it, just natural, because we're, you know. So we got to cultivate this here. Now meeting Lord Nityananda relieved their distress and aroused their Krishna prema. See, this is the whole thing about, there are many people here in this world, fewer than the masses, but there are many people here who may have been born to meet devotees who worship the Lord. And so when they see the devotees, ecstatic devotees, then their love begins to awaken. A lot of people don't even know. This is such a rare thing. They need to be taught. I had people watch our videos, and we're glorifying Lord Chaitanya and Krishna and all that, and there's some, the good stuff awakening, and this stuff starts awakening in them. And they even comment on it and say, wow, I feel this special love awakening. But because they don't have so much experience, they don't cultivate it or develop it. They just kind of go away, unfortunately. And maybe take them more lifetimes, then in the next lifetime or 20 years from now, if they're lucky, they meet another devotee who's preaching the glories, and it starts to awaken again. See? But the teaching here is by associating with ecstatic devotees, and if it awakens your devotion, keep with it, man. Don't go run away. Don't go be caught by the world and worldly things. Don't get critical. Somehow or other, or look for faults in devotee. Okay? Because this ecstatic love will develop. I've seen both sides. I've seen people who have gotten it and then left. I've seen people who have gotten it and they're sticking with it, and it keeps growing more and more. Okay? I see people that are connecting with it, but they're still got some critical bent or not much faith yet to the point where it's really blazing, but they're, making progress, cultivating. There's many stages of this. It all happens in association with the devotees. It starts to grow. See, so the best thing is not to be attracted away and leave, because then your cultivation stops until you meet the devotees again, engage in this kind of work. There are a lot of teachings in these pastimes to help us understand how to awaken this devotion, this ecstatic love, and how to maintain it, how to develop it, how to, stick with it. See, and this will take all our distress away. Here, so I'll read this again. Now, meeting Lord Nityananda relieved their distress and arouse their Krishna prema. Relieve the distress. Distress is naturally by associating with the world. There's going to be some happiness, but it's material. And there's going to be distress, and usually more of that. But the transcendental ecstatic devotion of devotees, just seeing it, relieves our distress. Okay? If we're open and favorable to it. Otherwise, if we criticize it, we go into more distress. But that can be also good because it's become a teaching. Many people have become self-realized by going against the ecstatic love of God through manifesting in devotees. There's a punishment there, and also the Lord is kind. He gives some realization about what it is. So it's anything to do with brushing across devotees, even sometimes you get a little offensive, can have a purifying result. It usually does, ultimately. So Lord Nityananda traveled for a while with Madhavinda Puri, relishing Krishna Katha. The qualities of Madhavinda Puri were most wonderful. He would swoon just by seeing a dark cloud. Out of love for Krishna he laughed and he cried day and night, shouting, "Hey, hey, hey," like a drunkard. Lord Nityananda was intensely absorbed in loving sentiments for Govinda. He laughed loudly, swayed to and fro. Madhavinda Puri's disciples constantly chanted the name of Hari, seeing their extraordinary symptoms of love. The two forgot whether it was day or night in their absorption of ecstatic love. Although remaining together for a number of days, Lord Nityananda and Madhavinda Puri felt that period as hardly a moment. Who knows all that took place between Lord Nityananda and Madhavinda Puri? Only Krishna knows. Unable to give up the company of the Lord, Nityananda, Madhavendra Puri constantly remained with him. Okay, so we'll stop here. I have to do my morning duties, and then we'll be back in about an hour. Yeah, I'll be back in an hour, and we'll have our regular satsang. So whoever wants to come, we'll do Facebook Live and Google Hangouts, so you can come to Google Hangouts if you want more interaction. We do it twice daily, and then we have these in between. So we're basically going for, 8 or 9 hours a day. And it's fun, man. It's fun to worship God. If you're not feeling it's a chore or drudgery or a discipline even, then if you're in the right company, it'll just be a joy and a pleasure and a happiness. As a matter of fact, it becomes your life, and you become eager for it. Then that's the value of associating with those who like to chant and do devotional service. It just becomes, like wonderful. Okay? Hare Krishna. All glories to Jesus. All glories to Lord Chaitanya. All glories to Prabhupada. All glories to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and all their associates. And all glories to all the devotees in the whole universe.